A little bit of Mac Miller to get your 9 p.m. afternoon, evening here started. Thank you so much for joining us once again. I am your host, Jose V. This is another episode of Straight Bet Sports here on the Guerrilla Cross Radio Network. We are coming to you live from the sports and entertainment capital of the world, none other than Las Vegas, Nevada. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you joining us tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it may be, thank you for taking some time tonight out of your night, whatever it may be, busy or not. Maybe you're hanging out at home. Maybe you're just out. I know some people that are out watching at a casino right now at a bar. So that's love right there. Greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Got my host, Rob G, in front of me again, hanging out with us. Got a lot to talk about tonight, and we got a great guest as well through Skype tonight. No guest in studio. Quan's hanging out, enjoying some Spectrum Sportsnet now that we hooked him up here live. So he doesn't watch this Galaxy that much, but he's like, might as well enjoy it tonight because I got the channel. And of course, none other than Big Game James Mays behind the big board, producer extraordinaire. Thank you, man, for doing everything you do for us. And I know I confused you a little bit today, but I know we got it down. We good. We definitely good here. But if you guys are watching this, you are watching this on the Guerrilla Cross Radio Network, GuerrillaCross.com, or the Guerrilla Cross app. If you want to go ahead and give us a call, make sure that you chime in at the phone number 702-608-3259. All right, let's see here. And for tonight's starting lineup, just to let you guys know what we have going on, we will be joined by Mark Anderson of the Las Vegas Review-Journal to talk some Las Vegas Raiders football. And not only that, Las Vegas was just awarded a few championships for NCAA. He wrote an article about that. We'll get his thoughts on that as well. Should be some fun conversation there. I haven't talked to Mark in a while since my sudden death days back on KSHP, but definitely we'll get his thoughts on everything Raiders and what we have here in Las Vegas now. Also, I'll give you guys my thoughts on all you Las Vegas haters out there saying that, Las Vegas haters for the LA Lakers, or just Laker haters in general, stating that there's an asterisk with this season, which there isn't, and I'll let you guys know why. Not only that, I'll give you my thoughts on the whole Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys situation and their possible future there, what will happen. Gruesome injury, thoughts and prayers to Dak. Hopefully all goes well as well. And of course, Rob G, not sure if he saw anything for college this weekend like he did last week, but if he did, we'll definitely jump into that. We'll talk MLB playoffs, the ALCS. The last time I checked, the Astros were able to hold on 4-3, pull off game 4 there, Rob. So we're going to talk about that. They're no longer down 3-0. They're the cheat Stros, as we like to call them now. And the Dodgers in trouble. They had a great first inning tonight. We'll talk about that. And of course, our bread and butter, we'll break down the NFL, talk the game, see what we like, give you our thoughts on who we think will win, and then also break down some of the betting lines. We'll give you our picks. Rob won last week, so did I. Rob is one game ahead of me. It puts him at 3-2. He had a college game. I had the Browns. Browns pulled it off, had a good game there. Baker Mayfield still has a lot to do, though, on the offensive side of the ball. I moved to 2-3, so I got to catch up with Rob. And that should be a fun show that we got, man. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys are excited. Like I said, we're going to talk to Mark here shortly. But before we do, let's not forget and let you guys know who we are. We're being brought to you by every single night here on the Guerrilla Cross Radio Network. We are being brought to you by Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate, a realtor here to help educate current and future Las Vegas locals on investing here in Las Vegas. Now, I don't have everything that I want to tell you guys when it comes to this, but I'm going to make it short and sweet. Josh has been selling houses left and right. If you guys follow him on social media, he's been doing amazing things with the homes that he's getting. And not only that, he takes care of his customers. He's not out there to just make a buck, make a profit, and take your money and put you into a home and call it a day. He's trying to make sure that he makes your dreams a reality. He puts you in the home that is best fit for you, not the home that he wants to give to you. So remember, guys, if you have not already done so, make sure that you hit up Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate. Call him or text him today at 702-813-0533. This has been another paid advertisement from Joshua LaFon with Simply Vegas Real Estate, 702-813-0533. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into it, Rob, with our first and only guest of the night here through Skype on the Guerrilla Cross Radio Network. We are being joined now by none other than Mark Anderson from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Mark, my friend, thank you for coming on with us tonight. How's your evening going?
It's been okay. I'm a Florida native, so I was disappointed to see the Rays lose, but maybe tomorrow.
You were disappointed to see the Rays lose, so you thought they were going to get the sweep tonight, I'm guessing?
I was hoping. You don't want to give a team life, right?
Definitely, especially not a team like the Astros, right?
Right, exactly.
So, Mark, I see you've been around town writing a lot when it comes to the Raiders now that they're here. Prior to that, you've done a lot with UNLV. That's where I met you, covering UNLV sports there. How has the whole transition been for you now? I see that you still talk UNLV from time to time, but I see you're focusing more on the Las Vegas Raiders. How has that transition been for you now that we have a professional sports team like that here in Las Vegas?
Well, the NFL is my favorite sport, so that I love being able to write about the Raiders and the NFL. But you know how it is. It's just weird right now with the pandemic. It's just I've been covering the Raiders basically from my home office here. We have our prime Raiders writers who go to the practice, but my help is mostly on Sundays on game day, and it's weird covering games from off TV instead of being there because I'm just so used to being there. And I'm hoping next year everything will be more back to normal, and it'll feel like it's really happening in front of me instead of through a screen. So, but I'm happy. I'm thrilled to do it. I covered UNLV athletics for like 21 years, I think it was. So it's it's good to have someone else give it a fresh look, and it's good for me to have a challenge. And I'm still, as you mentioned, still doing some stuff a little bit UNLV. I'm writing all these writing a bunch of Sunday stories that are big picture books, and some of those involve UNLV, and that was what today was about too. It was UNLV was Bob, it wasn't a UNLV story, but Las Vegas getting this NCAA championship is always a huge city.
So yeah, now that you tapped on that, let's go ahead and jump onto that before we talk Raiders. You just mentioned it. Las Vegas was awarded, I believe, 8 NCAA championships in a way overall, one of them being a regional, which I think is huge because it's going to be an NCAA championship basketball regional. A lot of the other ones are soccer, some golf, and I believe we also have the Frozen Four here or something like that they're talking about. But out of all of the ones that you're seeing, I mean, obviously, basketball's got to be the one that's going to probably bring the biggest draw, right?
Yeah, the Frozen Four are both huge. Basketball, is obviously a bigger deal. And just cements Las Vegas is sort of a basketball city. Although, with the success of hockey in the NFL here, I mean, there are a lot of sports that do well here. But getting that here is huge. And what that does is it sets Las Vegas up for Final Four. So if Las Vegas do well, staging the regional, which I have no doubt it will. Then I think the Final Four is inevitable. The Frozen Four is a really big deal. It's really no more, in the Midwest and the Northeast where you have the hockey powerhouses. But you're going to get all those cold weather fans to come here, and it's going to feel like summer to them, and they're going to love it, and they're going to make it a real event, and I think it's probably going to sell out too. So I think both events are going to do great, and now there's word that Las Vegas or the Raiders are going hard for the Super Bowl that the Saints had to vacate for a year. So I mean, there's a lot of great stuff coming up in the next few years.
Once again, he is Mark Anderson of the Las Vegas Review-Journal joining us here tonight on Straight Bet Sports on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. So let's jump into some Raiders talk here, Mark. The Raiders had a great game this past week going on the road to Kansas City, a place where Derek Carr has not won in his first 6 attempts going in there, which he talked about was like getting a monkey off his back. Every single analyst, whether it was on ESPN, Fox Sports, or even on radio or on television, everyone chose the Chiefs. No one gave the Raiders a chance. How big was this game? And not only that, you talked about the article which you wrote on how Twitter started from one level and it changed throughout the game and then it finished out. Talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, it's funny. It's one thing to go to Kansas City and beat them, but the way they did it, they were down 14-3 and then 21-10. I mean, I'm watching the game at 21-10. I think it's pretty much over, and because we've seen the Chiefs do this so many times, right? And especially at home. But I give the Raiders so much credit. They found a way to come up with the big plays, not only offensively but defensively too, and just pull off really a shock of a loss. But yeah, the Twitter was especially. I went back and reread all that, and you see the people are just down on the Raiders early on, understandably so, and just thinking that they're going to be junk all season, and how it goes when a team's losing like that.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it switches, and everyone thinks they're great again. So it's, but we've seen that in the season too. After the Raiders started 2-0, people are talking about playoffs. For sure, It's a playoff team. Go deep in the playoffs, and then 2-2. So I'm like, well, this team stinks. Scrooge's got to be fired. Carr's got to be benched. So it's just. That's just sports, though. I'm a fan too of different teams, and so I can relate. I get down on my teams, and I get real high on my teams, and that's part of the fun of it.
Now, one of the biggest things that the Raiders were having issue on was the defensive side of the ball, and it's easy for anyone that's a fan to come out and say, fire Paul Guenther, fire the defensive coordinator. They're not getting it done. But like I tell a lot of people, if you actually follow the team and follow what's going on with their depth chart, they have a lot of injuries on defense. That's been one of the worst issues and problems that they've had this season. It's not necessarily Paul Guenther. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, injury, especially in the secondary. Well, not just secondary. They had Kwiatkowski out for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, they now Mo Hurst is out with on the COVID list, so it's they really been decimated, and they were decimated in the Chiefs game, and that's what makes what they did in the second half even more remarkable. Is that that defense really had no business stopping Patrick Mahomes the way it did, and I was watching the game. I was trying to think, what are they doing different? And I don't know that they were necessarily doing anything different, but I noticed they were being patient. Like Mahomes had this one play where he scrambles to his left, and if he just makes a move on the Raiders defender, and I can't remember who it was, it may have been Keyshawn Nelson. I don't remember who it was, but if he makes a move on it, if the defender's too aggressive, then Mahomes is gone for a 15, 20-yard gain probably. The defender stayed in place and made Mahomes make the move, and Mahomes couldn't go anywhere. And I think they learned that with Mahomes, you can't be over aggressive. You have to be more patient and more disciplined, and they were definitely that in the second half. And I think that's something they can build on. And it's got to show them that the talent is there, even when they're shorthanded, that they can still get the job done. So if you can stop Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, you can stop anyone.
So again, he is Mark Anderson from the Las Vegas Review-Journal joining us here tonight on Straight Bet Sports on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Mark, another question I have for you too, basically going back to this team and that game against Kansas City. Is this a game that's going to help them, do you think, moving forward? Or can it be a game that hurts them if they ride too high on this win? Because you just beat the defending champs. It's not like you just beat another foe in your division. You beat someone in your division, but you also beat the defending champions. Now, is this the type of game that can hurt the Raiders or help them moving forward?
I think it helps them more than it hurts them. I think the Raiders needed that shot of confidence. You had to wonder after losing 2 in a row where they were mentally, and I think to go out there and play the way they did, like I said, coming back twice from double-digit deficits, I think it's huge for them. I mean, and probably the bye week helps in that regard too, what you're talking about, where they can come back to earth a little bit more. They can celebrate the win a little bit more than you normally would during the season. And I think I think that extra time will help them come out more focused. And it doesn't take much to get refocused. Tom Brady's coming to town, so so I think they're going to be ready to go, and obviously that's a whole different deal they have with the Bucs, but they're not dealing with a scrambling quarterback, but with a guy whose resume is as good as any that ever been. So I think having the extra week to prepare for him, I think is going to be really beneficial for them.
Once again, he is Mark Anderson of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Join us here on Guerrilla Cross Radio on Straight Bet Sports. Mark, final question for you. Is it time for people, and what I mean by that is just people in sports and football, and of course Raider fans in general, is it time to start giving Derek Carr some credit and some respect and stop saying we need Mariota or he's not going to be here much longer, or him and John Gruden don't get along? Is it time to finally lay that to rest? I mean, yes, you're 3-2, you're not undefeated, but he's having a great season. Let's be real.
Yeah, and I think his passer rating's been above 100 all 5 games, which is really fantastic. Obviously, the knock on him is he couldn't elevate a team to the next level. That he puts up good numbers, but that's all they are. I think the Chiefs game pretty much put that to rest. Obviously, you'll still have some skeptics out there who want to see him do much more, and he will. He'll have to do more, but I think he's been really good, and look how many offensive coordinators he's had to play under. Gruden's scheme is not that easy.
Yeah,
it takes a while to grasp it. He's all the different pieces at receiver they've had. It's just, now their offensive line looks like it's starting to finally get healthy. Having Trent Brown back is huge. So I like Derek Carr a lot for a long time, and I thought he got a bad rap. And I think he's a quarterback you can build around.
There we go. Mark Anderson of the Las Vegas Review-Journal talking some Raiders with us. Mark, we definitely greatly appreciate your time tonight. I know it's a little bit short here, but we appreciate you talking Raiders with us. A little bit of NCAA championships there. But before we let you go, let everybody know where they can find you, what you have going on moving forward.
Well, I'm going to follow up for Sunday's paper, so Saturday online, about what happened today with the NCAA announcements. Go a little bit for forward thinking. Where does it go from here? How do they, what does this mean down the line for other events coming to town? So I'll follow up on that, and that's the next big thing I have. And you can always follow me on Twitter, also at Mark Anderson 65, as you have on the screen.
Once again, Mark Anderson, Las Vegas Review-Journal. Mark, my friend, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have you again on soon, shortly. Greatly appreciate
you. Sounds good, Jose. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, have a great night.
You too.
That was good. That was fun. Mark Anderson, Las Vegas Review-Journal. Always good to have a writer on, someone that's been doing it for a long time in the business and knows what's going on. So that's pretty cool there. But let's go ahead and jump into our next segment here and move forward. Once again, I'm Jose V. This is another episode of Straight Bet Sports here on the Guerrilla Cross Radio Network. Rob G right in front of me. Big Game James Mays behind the big board doing what he does as always. So I wanted to give my thoughts on 2 things before we move on. Rob, you can jump in if you want. If not, we'll just leave it at that. Uh-oh, they shut him off.
I was asking a question the whole time, and I couldn't get on display. No.
You're like, whoa.
I asked like 4 questions during that interview, and I couldn't get in because James had my mic off.
But
no, I'm just playing.
So here's the thing. The Las Vegas Lakers.
What?
Because I live in Vegas, okay?
All right.
But Los Angeles Lakers.
I'll allow
all
it.
right.
I'll allow it.
The Los Angeles Lakers, okay? The Los Angeles Lakers won their 17th NBA championship a couple days ago. Round of applause. We got Laker fans in the building. They tied Boston, so now we are number 1. Not only that, we are better because we've been to more NBA finals. That's another thing, okay? We've been to 32. Quan posted an amazing stat. I don't remember what it is, but our percentage of making the playoffs since we've been in existence is 41%. No, winning the championship, I'm sorry, is 41%.
Just making it to the finals.
Just making it to the finals. The Clippers' percentage in their history of making it to the playoffs is less than 41%.
Well, of course.
so that was a good stat. But going back to what I wanted to talk about. For everyone out there that's listening, that's watching, that's been posting stuff on social media, that's been hitting me up, telling me, you're a Laker fan, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be embarrassed of this championship because it's an asterisk season. You guys played in a bubble. There was no travel. There was no grueling, you're not traveling here and there. It's not hard on your body. Okay, so how is that bad? Every single team that went to the bubble had the same advantages and disadvantages, if you want to call it that.
If anything, they had more of an advantage.
But I'm just saying, it was a fair playing ground. They all went home at the same place. They all were ready to play in the same spot. They had no distractions unless they made it their own. So you can't throw that excuse out there. That's one. Okay? So give LeBron James and the LA Lakers some respect for this championship. Another thing, too, if I do recall, the whole season wasn't played in a bubble. If you want to throw out an asterisk, we could maybe throw out an asterisk to the MLB season that we got right now because it's a 60-game season, a soft playoffs with half the teams making it. That we can talk about asterisk, okay, if you want to talk about that in another show for another conversation. But do not talk about asterisk when it comes to the LA Lakers. More than 75% of the season was played in a regular format with fans, with travel, with everything before the coronavirus hit. They finished it out in a bubble. Now, your excuse is, well, some of these teams didn't even want to go. Of course, the bottom-feeding teams that knew that we're going to make the playoffs, they didn't want to go. So they continued with the tougher teams that were still fighting, that were still playing to try to make a playoff. So don't tell me that this is an asterisk season. Don't tell me that, oh, there was no travel. It's not hard. It was the same for everyone. It was a level playing ground. Give the Lakers some respect. And like LeBron James said, and if you know me, you know I'm not a huge LeBron fan. I never have been, but I'm a Laker fan, so I'm going to support him. Put some damn respect in that dude's name. Moving on. That's one. Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott. I know, James, I see you. I know you're not happy. Gruesome injury if you guys saw what happened in that play. And here's the thing. I'm going to go back to what Stephen A. said. Stephen A. tried to basically bash the Cowboys by not signing this kid, by not giving him the long-term contract. But what you don't understand, it wasn't about the long term. He wanted a shorter contract. It was about less years, more money. That's what Dak wanted. I don't blame the kid for trying to get his money, but I'm sorry, you weren't worth that money at that time.
Doesn't everyone want that type of contract?
I get that, but look at it now.
Less years, more money.
But look at it now. Everybody's saying, one of the guys on ESPN was talking about Damian Woody. He was saying that now the ball's in Dak Prescott's court. I'm sorry, it's not, because now the Cowboys can offer him more years if he wants it at less money, instead of less years at more money like he wanted. So they can switch things up on him. And not only that, let's look at this. You have a guy in Dak Prescott, which you can probably move at the end of the season or let him go and test free agency, okay? And then you also have a guy in Andy Dalton, which is a 9-year proven starter. He was under the guy he had in Cincinnati didn't know what the hell he was doing, I'm sorry. Even though they made the playoffs, couldn't win in the playoffs. But still, 9-year starter, Pro Bowler, proven statistics. He's got more touchdowns than picks. You know what I mean? He's not a bad percentage quarterback. What happens? Let's just say. What happens? And not only that, he is more of a prototypical quarterback for Mike McCarthy than Dak Prescott is. Let's remember that. And final. He's playing at home, people. He's from Texas. He played at TCU. And of course, he's got nothing to lose, just like the Ryan Tannehill situation last year. He wasn't the guy coming in. He signs the smaller contract. Let's say he gets them to the playoffs. Let's say they win their division. Let's say they win one playoff game, or even they don't win one playoff game. Are you going to pay Dak Prescott that enormous amount of money? Or are you going to try to say, hey, we have enough around Andy that we can win now and take that chance? I'm not going to tell you and go on and say I think Andy Dalton should stay there or whatever. No. But I honestly think, mark my words, we are going to hear this scenario talked about down the road. Anybody want to chime in, or are we good to move forward?
I think, yeah, honestly, we're going to talk about it. I feel bad for Dak. Obviously, it was a super gruesome injury.
Of course.
Super gruesome injury. He wanted, like you said, more years, less years, more money, but I think we all would want that. He's going to be, I don't know what the time frame is. I don't know if they've set a time frame.
4 to 6 months.
He's out for the season.
So basically, he could be back by training camp
by the Super Bowl.
Year.
If they go to the Super Bowl, he'll start in the Super Bowl.
Another Rex Grossman situation.
Exactly.
Like
No. The way modern medicine is working these days, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be sooner than we expect, because we have people, tearing their ACL all the time and coming back sooner than expected. Yeah. So I definitely think that he'll be back sooner than we expect, 4 to 6 months, or maybe the 4 months instead of the 6 months. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting conversation that he's going to have to think about, because what he turned down just to kind of play it as a free agent this next year.
James, I gotta get your thoughts. You're a Cowboy fan, real quick.
All right, so what I feel about it is it's almost like karma coming back around.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Praying for Dak, man. That's not
you're not saying it in a bad way. You're not saying it in a bad way. I get it.
Not at all. But I mean, if you wanted to be the Dallas Cowboys, you know what I'm saying, head office, you're like, I told you so. Like, this is why you don't go ahead and sign,
Poor Dak, man.
such a big contract, you know what I'm saying, for such a short amount of time, because you want to know that your players are going to be there. This is a freak accident. Oh boy, just leaned into him, man, and just snapped it.
I didn't watch it. I couldn't watch. They were trying to show it to me, and I was like,
here's another thing.
I watched it by accident.
I was watching it at work.
I
That's
hate,
how
I
slow
hate
it
to
was.
watch stuff like
But
that.
and here's another thing,
Be
okay,
honest.
that I want to throw to you guys out there.
Yeah.
They franchise tag this young man.
Yeah.
If they franchise tag him next year, you know what the tag is going to be?
What's that?
$37 million. They're not going to pay him $37 million if he doesn't want to negotiate a contract when they can sign Andy Dalton for 2.5
or whoever else is available. Whoever else is available at that
That's
time.
what I'm saying. But so going back to that, do you see some type of scenario working out where that can possibly happen down the road?
I don't know, man. I think you just gotta check him out. We know that Dak is good under pressure.
Correct.
But since that first year, it's been a hope that he would come back and do the things that he was able to do in that first year. I mean, make the playoffs, it was great. And then, Green
I
Bay.
like this view, by the way.
Yeah.
If you
Green
guys
Bay.
watching, this is
that's
awesome. You can see the whole studio here.
Yeah.
We got the TVs in the background. This is awesome. So
You know,
you guys know
we
what
got
it
the
looks
drone,
like.
baby.
Got the
We
drone.
got the drone, baby.
The NFL sky cam.
Yeah, we got the sky cam.
That's what we're trying to do, 4D.
Yeah.
But I hope the best for Dak. You know what I'm saying? I do like him as a player. I feel like he needs a little bit more oomph.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't really think he needs that. I
Really?
mean, he plays hard every time. I mean, that's one thing I don't think anyone's ever made a comment about Dak. Like, yeah, he can make better decisions, in certain situations, but I think we all can, on or off the field, right?
It's a
But
fact.
I mean, he plays hard. He gives everything. You never watch a Cowboys game, win or lose, and say like, damn, Dak was soft in that game. Like, Dak plays hard. He plays with a lot of grit, and I think that that's not something that you can say that from Dak at all.
Yeah, man.
Good. I'm glad you guys chimed in on that. Once again, I am Jose V. This is another episode of Straight Bet Sports here on the Gorilla Cross Radio Network. Joined by my co-host Rob G. As always, Big Game James Mays behind the big board, doing what he does. Now, I want to make an announcement here, because if you guys know, so we signed on for 6 months with Gorilla Cross thanks to Joshua LaFont from Simply Vegas Real Estate. We decided to sign on with him again. We've had talks. So we're coming back, guys. Our contract was supposed to end at the end of November.
Franchise tag.
We got franchise tag, baby. So, thank you to Joshua LaFont.
Yes, sir.
We made it happen. So starting December, roll through for another 6 months. We're going to continue through the NFL season, finish it out there, and hopefully get you into the new NBA season, which is supposed to start January 1st.
Is it supposed to be Jan?
Yeah. So that's the talks.
It's
That's the
delayed,
talks.
right? It was supposed to be December
Correct.
or November.
Somewhere like that, yep.
And then, wow, it got moved to the
So definitely, thank you to Joshua LaFont for signing up with us again, man. Sponsoring the show, continuing to keep us going here on Gorilla Cross Radio. And of course, thank you to this amazing studio, our producer extraordinaire, Quan, for doing everything that he does as well. And not only that, if you're listening out there, man, and you guys do want to be a part of the show, you want to sponsor a segment or whatever it may be, you have a location you want us to do a live remote, hit me up, man. Straight Bet Sports at Outlook.com, just like the name of the show, Straight Bet Sports at Outlook.com. We are accepting sponsorship, applications, if you want to call it that. So hit us up, man.
Come hang out in the studio.
Yeah,
once
hey,
everything gets rolling.
Yeah, once everything gets rolling, we got a lot of ideas, remotes. We're going to do bar stuff. I mean,
we
a lot
got
of
3
stuff.
TVs in here.
We got everything. Look at that.
Right.
It's all set
One's
up.
just a big clock. But
Yeah, it was just a big clock to let us know where we at.
Nah, that won't work too.
But yeah, man, let us know if you guys want to jump on the train and keep it going with us. But Josh, thank you. Appreciate it. We got it going. Gonna make it for a whole year. It's good, man. It feels good. It feels good when people appreciate your work and know what you're doing, man. And Rob, you, man, thank you for jumping on and doing this with me, because I told you I needed a co-host. I needed someone that I could talk to. You and I chop it up like no other. We're boys. We've known each other for years, so I greatly appreciate you.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man, let's keep this going now. What's the next conversation we're gonna have tonight? You said you didn't see much in college. You want to just jump that?
We can
just move
talk about it at the end. We can talk MLB. Let's talk MLB.
Or how about this? It's on the screen. Nick Saban tests positive for the coronavirus.
So did Ronaldo. How about Ronaldo, too?
Let's the college football. Let's talk about.
So I want to know.
How does that impact Alabama? Or is their coaching staff good enough to where the players don't
so.
have to worry about Nick Saban?
They got some of the highest paid assistants in the nation, or ever. So I think that it's obviously going to hurt the team a little bit, but actually, you know what? They're playing Georgia this week.
They are.
They're playing Georgia this week. Line opens neg 7, drops to neg 4.
There you go. Let's talk about. See, that's what
I
I'm
was
talking-
wondering
that's
a
my boy
little
right
bit
there.
about
That's
why
right.
it dropped to neg 4. I just thought Georgia defensively is a really good team to start the season. Offensively, they have a few struggles and stuff, but I was wondering why the line dropped. But then they announced today, maybe some insider information came out because I didn't hear about it till today. But that line is dropped from neg 7 to neg 4 almost instantaneously. So.
And what Rob means by neg is minus. Some of you don't know that verbiage.
Yeah, negative. Yeah, negative. Yeah, negative. Yeah, neg 7.
I'm just saying because we know that not everyone
Of course.
speaks that way.
I hope everybody knows that.
Hey, you know what? We're talking about betting. I'm sorry. I know this is out of the blue, but it just came to me. RIP. I don't know when it happened. I forgot the date, but you reminded me the other day because you sent me a picture of it. Rob and I like to go to the Cannery Sportsbook. That's where we hang out Sunday mornings. If you guys know us, we're thinking about doing something there Sunday mornings as well, so we'll talk about that later. But that's where we like to hang out. We have our cup of coffee. We look
That's
at the
where we
lines.
met,
That's
right?
where we met.
We talked about it last
I used to
time.
work in the book. Exactly. So that's our spot. You know what I mean? And there was a server there at Waverly's when it used to be Waverly's Steakhouse. His name was James. Yeah. And every time he would come to the book and he would bet, he would always say, "Jose, bet it. It's a lock. It's a lock. Bet it. It's guaranteed." He was a Pittsburgh Steeler. It's a lock. Bet it. They have a plaque for him at the Cannery in the back of the book, man. If you guys are listening and watching, you know who James is, man. James, we miss you, man. We love you, brother. Hopefully you're up there watching. But I'm sorry, I just had to throw that out there. It just came to me. I know
Yeah, it
I know
was
it's random,
like
but
almost 10 years ago
it's been
already.
a
I
while,
was like,
yeah.
wow, I can't believe
Yeah,
it's been that
about
long.
10 years,
I never
yeah.
seen that before. So
I'm
I took a
surprised they
picture
put that plaque. I remember they put it, but I told you it had spaced
They're
out.
gonna
about
keep it there, even though they changed companies and
You have to.
Boyd took over. You got to leave it there. I
So,
remember
Rob-
him though. I remember him in
Yeah.
line though when I used to go to the book. He used to be in
Yeah.
line.
He had that little hunch.
He used to
Hey, what's
always
up,
be in
man?
his
Yeah.
server. He had
His
a server
server before I
apron
could
on,
pull it
put
out
in
what I got
bets.
right here.
Yeah, put on his
Yeah,
bets
man.
and stuff like that. That's funny.
That was the homie, man. Definitely miss him a lot, man. But good times there at the Cannery.
Yeah, we'll talk college if we want to talk a little later. But yeah,
But nah,
well,
let's jump into some MLB. That's what I want to talk about because we got the MLB playoffs going on. Tampa Bay Rays were up 3-0 against the Chiefs. We obviously saw what happened. They came back today. They won the game 4-3. Zach Greinke on the mound tonight. He was in a tough spot in the 6th inning. Bases loaded. Dusty was thinking about pulling them. Kept them in there. Got the final strikeout. Ended the inning.
There's 2 outs. I didn't see that. I watched the beginning and I watched the end.
Correct. So it was a good game. It was a good game. I still think the Rays are going to win it. I'm just.
Well, that's easy saying being up 3-1.
And it's funny because before the season, you think about what's that team? What team can you bet?
Those my Rays. I said the Rays.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying like you want to look at those. What can be that team on a short 60-game season? You know what I mean? Like who gets hot early? But the Dodgers too, though. Dodgers, bro. Kershaw scratched in game 2.
Was that what happened? He's
So
supposed to go.
game 2, he had a scratch for his back spasms or whatever.
Yikes.
You guys lose. Dude, you guys were down 7-0, score 7 runs, and then Braves get that final run when beat you guys 8-7 last night. Tonight, you guys get freaking, what was it?
11.
13,
That's
11
runs in the first.
11 runs in the first inning, 15 in the first 3.
I like that. I like that the Dodgers won. I just don't like. 11.
Do you think they outran themselves? If you know what I mean, they scored too many runs.
Not well. If it was maybe over the course of 9, I mean, then like they scored the 15 over the course of 9 innings, maybe yes. But since they scored 11 in the first and 4 in the rest of the game, I don't think
The
so.
game wasn't too grinded out.
Yeah, it was a little doozy. It was a doozy for sure because I was waiting for that game to be over for a long time. But to finally get a win in the books to go down 2. We're still down 2-1, but yeah, it's.
Sorry, it's because Mo from Girl Chat Sports has chimed in on Facebook. She says, "I'm praying for the Rays to beat.
Everyone is
beat them. Hashtag Astros cheated."
I can only imagine how many people wanted the Astros to get swept, right? Just get what they deserve. I know it's the ALCS; they made it all the way to the championship series, but to go out 4-0 in the championship series, I can only imagine the memes and stuff that were already prepared for tomorrow, and all the stuff, all the gifts and stuff we were going to see tomorrow. But yeah, they put a hold on to that. They put a hold on that.
Dodgers pull it off. And don't speak as a fan. Speak from what you've seen. Do they have an opportunity to pull this off and come back? They're only down 2-1. It's not like they're down 3-1.
Well, after today, the way the bats lit up the scoreboard, I think so for sure. I think it's gonna go 7. I mean, watch out. We talked about this. Watch out for the Braves. They're doing really well. They got a good pitching staff. They're very well coached. So yeah, I think it's going 7. think
not
it's
only
going
that,
7.
you know, you and I like to talk about conspiracies, or we think about
No, I
scenarios.
like to talk about it.
But we all talk about
and
scenarios.
I try to sit there and I try to convince you of them.
Exactly.
Like for like 30 minutes via
Conspiracy
text,
theory.
I will try to convince you
But
that my
no,
theory
this
is right.
is why. So here's the thing. When people die or stuff like that, or there's a death, sometimes with a coach, you know, we're going to play for him, we're going to win for him, like the Lakers won for Kobe, you know, stuff like that. This kid, well, how can I put this? The Dodgers are trying to win this game, right? They're trying to win this series. They're the favorite to win this series, but
Not anymore, but yeah.
going in, we're going to win the whole thing possibly. But you have a kid in Freddie Freeman. Think about this. You know his story.
yeah.
Caught the coronavirus, 104.5 degree fever. Took some
Worst of
NyQuil
the
and some
worst
Tylenol
conditions.
and took
Yeah.
a nap and said he was afraid to go to sleep because he didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Woke up the next day with 102 and said, I feel great. I'm happy. Who the hell feels happy with 102 degree temperature? But I look at those stories. Like, could this be the story? Could this be the year where they win it because of that? Where he comes up and his team just like, you know?
I mean,
Hey,
it would-
Kareem, if you're listening out there, I know you're a huge Braves fan, bro. You want this to be over already. So we're going to have him on the show next week possibly, which is fun because you're a Dodger fan. So that's going to be interesting.
he's a Braves fan.
Yes.
All right. You're a Dodger. Oh, you're Yankees. Never mind.
Correct.
It's like,
I support the Dodgers because I'm from LA, but they're not my team. So,
I get you.
but yeah, it's gonna be fun, man.
It's going to be interesting. I think, like I said, I think it's going 7. Kershaw's on the mound tomorrow. Are they playing tomorrow? They take a day off. I'm sorry.
Oh, I think it's 4 games in a row.
Oh, yeah, they play tomorrow.
Which
Kershaw on
who
the
hell
mound.
made that type of schedule?
Neg 200, so he's favored by 200. Wow.
Clayton.
And like I said, what did I say last week, right? I want to see the Kershaw when his back's against the wall.
Correct. Is he gonna
Right?
come through when it
Is
matters?
he going to come through when they need him?
Yes.
And this is one of those situations to where he's back. You know, Dodgers are down 2-1. This is a must win. I honestly feel like this is a must win. Yeah, coming back 3-1 is becoming so popular. Not to say in baseball, but in just overall sports in general. That, you know, some people may not say that it's a must win. I personally believe that this is a must win based on the pitching rotations, based on everything that's gone on this season. This is a must win for them. They're favored correctly with him being on the mound the way that he's pitched for the end of the season through the playoffs. And yeah, it's over totals 9.5, dropped to 9. Is he gonna give it up? We'll see. I mean, it's interesting. It's definitely a game I will not touch. I don't touch Dodgers anyways, but yeah, it's definitely a game I'm gonna be watching from the stands.
Rob G with the MLB analysis there.
I just want to see when he's, you know, it's a must win.
You just
Kershaw
want
in
to
a
see a
must
good
win.
game. That's it. You're not
Kershaw
gonna bet
in a
it.
must win is not the Kershaw that we all know or that we all expect.
All right, before we move to football, last question.
Yep.
You're not gonna bet the game,
Nope.
but if you're watching and you see something that entices you, are you gonna bet the end game? Come on.
No.
All right, let's leave it at that. MLB playoffs, Dodgers down 2-1, Rays up 3-1 on the Cheat Stros. We'll see how that ends out. So let's move on to our football. A lot of these we're just going to move through because they don't really have that much need to talk about. But let's start off with the first game that I got here. Bears going on the road to Carolina to
we're
play
jumping
the
in
Panthers.
NFL already.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Bears jumping on the road to Carolina to play on the red-hot Panthers that are on a 3-game winning streak after starting the season 0-2. Matt Rule's got that team playing good.
Everyone
Teddy
doubted
Two Gloves.
them. Everyone doubted
Especially
them.
after Christian McCaffrey went down even more.
They doubted the coach more than they doubted the players, to be honest with
I
you.
agree.
They thought that him coming from Baylor was just going to...
I did too. I said the guy was a big hype man. But anyways, moving on. Panthers minus 1.5
I have a pick.
at home.
I have a pick right here.
So I'm just looking at scores and odds. What do you have there?
I have pick.
Okay.
I have open neg 3, total 44.5.
I got 45.
And
44.5 on
down
William
to
Hill.
44.5 right now and down to a pick 'em.
So this is the game where we have a team in the Bears that we don't think they should be, or they don't look like the 4-1 team. The Panthers, if my opinion, look more like the 4-1 team than the 3-2 team, if that makes sense. I think they're playing better. I think the fact that this game is at home, I know people are saying there's no home advantage still because of everything. Little by little, they're trickling fans in. I'm pretty sure they're going to have fans in Carolina.
I think at a pick, I mean, well, it's about last week obviously has a huge deal to, you know, how people bet this week, the next week. I mean, what does everybody remember? A big thing from last week is that the Bears beat Tampa,
Correct.
right? So for you to be giving
After laying an egg in Nick Foles' first start.
right,
the
so
week prior.
everyone's back on that train. It only takes one game in those big city markets. It only takes one game for everyone to be back on that bandwagon, right? So I at a pick 'em, I'd honestly take the Panthers. They were giving you 3. I think you're getting the worst of the number now if you're trying to take the Bears. Obviously, that's very obvious. So I think at a pick 'em, I would take the Panthers at home. And yeah, the Bears. Yeah, the Bears are going to be the Bears.
So I won't give you my opinion on the line or the total. I'll tell you who I think is going to win. I think the Panthers will win. So if that's with the total, then definitely they'll cover that pick or that 1.5.
It's a pick. So yeah, if you think they're going to win, that covers.
I think we're going to see another big game from DJ Moore, by the way. I benched him last week. Should not have done so. I would have won one of my fantasy games, but we're not going to talk about that.
3-2 of mine.
2-3 in both leagues.
I'm 2-3 in both leagues
Me
as
too.
well, man.
So moving on. This game, I don't even want to talk about the total. Let's just talk about who you think will win, because this game is a dumpster fire. Even though people are still living off of what the Jags did in week 1, I know the Jags are the Jags.
There's
They're
a
Gardner Minshew. The Detroit Lions are the Detroit Lions. Another dumpster fire.
I like the Lions.
Okay.
Based on what I've seen the Jags do the last couple weeks, there's still a little bit of the hint of that Minshew magic, in people's eyes and stuff. So they're obviously going to take the 3.5. It's smart to take the 3.5. Don't get me wrong.
Joanna says Dodgers, baby, by the way. She's watching on Facebook. Greatly
Let's go.
appreciate you, a friend of the wife.
But there is a huge bet on Twitter. I saw that there's a huge bet that this player had a parlay. He had the Titans plus 3.5, which he won, obviously. And then he has the second leg of the parlay. He has the Lions -3, which is most likely
Thursday? Wait, hold on.
It was a parlay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It was a parlay from Thursday night. Had the Titans plus 3.5, and it rolls over to the Lions -3. Most likely why they added the hook.
So wait, this is going to be a stupid question though, but we don't have a Thursday night game.
Yeah, we.
I'm looking at.
We just. Do we? Oh, this.
Is it because of the Tennessee game?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's actually true. Yeah, correct. Well, we don't have a Thursday night game.
So it's because of the Tennessee game. I'm guessing they decided to
Tennessee.
make that the Thursday night.
We're
game.
almost to 7 days a week.
It's crazy.
We're almost
bro.
to football 7 days a week.
So real
I'll take
quick,
that.
who do you think takes that game?
I'll take the
Jags?
Lions. -3.5. That's tough, but I'll still lay it. I'm rooting
I'll
for that
take
guy
you know
with the
what?
parlay. He's got a parlay, man. It's a huge parlay.
I'm gonna go opposite with Rob. 83% of the money is on the Lions. Give me the Jags. That's not my pick, but I'm just saying. So moving on.
Go ahead.
Falcons are 0-5. I called it. I said last week. Did I not? I said the Falcons will lose. Dan Quinn will be fired.
Not fired.
No. I said he would be fired.
Is he fired? Did he get fired?
He got fired Sunday night.
Did he really?
I tweeted out. I
Oh,
said
my gosh.
the Atlanta Falcons will fire Matt Quinn officially Monday morning. They fired him Sunday night.
Wow. I didn't see that. I honestly, that didn't even make the headlines.
They haven't started 0-5, I believe, in their franchise's history. So it was going to happen. The Vikings are 1-4 at home. Captain Kirk playing from behind as always. Padded numbers, we know, or no numbers at all. 91% of the money's on the Vikings here, though, at -4. I'm not sure what you're looking at, Rob, but I got -4 over here.
I have
54 is the
-4,
total.
54, drop from 57.
So I don't know who took the interim job. Oh, Raheem Morris. Raheem Morris took the interim job there, so I don't know how that's going to work out. When he was the coach in Tampa, he didn't do too well in Tampa either, so I'm not sure. Maybe it is a fresh start. The players will like it. But here's another question, too, though. Is Matt Ryan on the way out? Is he one of those guys that is going to be on another team next year like Phillip Rivers? You know what I mean?
I think he'll get picked up immediately if Atlanta agree to drop him. Like, he's going to get picked up.
There's a lot of teams that'll take him right now.
He's going to get picked up in the first 3 days. Like, it's a wrap.
But with that being said, I still like Minnesota -4 in this game.
So my take on that, honestly, I probably won't bet this game, but on paper from last week, Vikings should have beaten the Seahawks, right? So they played really well after starting the season, 0-2, I believe. They've played really well since then, since getting murdered by the Colts, I think in week 2. These are look-ahead lines, too. You have to remember that, too, as well. So these lines have been out for 2 weeks. These lines have been out before last week's game came out. So they opened up -3 before Dan Quinn got fired, right? Before they go 0-5. And they open Vikings at home, who are playing. I mean, I understand that they lost to the Seahawks, but they're playing a lot better. They should have won that game. They should have kicked the field goal and beat Seattle. Yep. But I mean, they were +7 dogs, so people are happy they covered for them. They may have lost, but a lot of people made some money if they bet the Dolphins. I mean, excuse me, if they bet the Dolphins, if they bet the Vikings, because they covered for them. So you're getting them at home after looking decent on Monday Night Football against the Seahawks, and Falcons just lost their head coach, and the only adjustment is from -3 to -4. right? It's a 1-point adjustment. So
what does that tell you?
And that tells me, honestly, I would take the Falcons because I can only imagine the amount of people that are going to be on the Vikings, all because of what I just said. So with that being said, like I said before I started saying any of this, I'm probably not going to bet this game, but I would take the points with the Falcons.
All right, Rob G throwing his analysis in there. That's why we brought him in here. Definitely. We got about 10 games left.
Yeah.
15 more minutes. I think we should be all right. Don't be banging the thing.
Oh, sorry.
Your
I keep
microphone
banging.
and your camera moves.
Right, sorry.
But we got about 10 more games, 15 minutes. I think we could run through. We'll be quick.
We can run
a
through.
lot of these will just be picked. When you have to talk about the point spread, just who do you think is going to win, all right?
All right.
So I'll give it to you on this one. Texans-Titans. Quick turnaround. Titans just played on Tuesday yesterday. We saw that game. They look great. I don't know if you saw that stiff arm by Derrick Henry on Josh Norman. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Just uninsane.
That's a
Texans
gift.
are 1-4.
It's a gift now.
Texans are 1-4. Big contract for Deshaun. This line is 3. We're not talking lines. Who wins this game? I say Tennessee. I don't care if it's a quick turnaround. I think the fact that they got to sit for so long, they're still warm and they're ready to go. I think Tennessee wins and covers the spread.
I think the spread's gonna come into play here. It opened -5. Obviously, like I said, look ahead line. Texans looked okay against the Jaguars. I mean, the final score makes them look like it was like a dominating win. It wasn't that big of a dominating win, but they won by what, I think like 15 or whatever. Titans looked really good against the Bills. For that line to go from 5.5 to 3 based on a Jaguars game and based on the way that the Bills, the Titans played the Bills, I think the spread's going to come into play here, and I take the Texans plus the 3.
All right, moving on. Washington football team versus the New York Giants. This is a dumpster fire of a game. I say the Giants win their first game. As crazy as it is, I know they're -2.5. They shouldn't be minus against anyone.
How about the hook drop? I mean, but how about it drops from 3 to 2.5?
William and Hill still has them at 3. Other places has them at 2.5. So I see that, but I take the Giants. I think they win. I think they cover. No issue there. What do you think, Rob?
Another game, I think the spread comes into play. I take for them to go to 2.5, especially after the way that the Redskins looked against the Rams. No discredit to the Rams, but I take the points. I'll take the 2.5.
So you take Alex Smith in the points?
Is that who's going to start?
I'm just kidding.
What did he get? So
Dwayne Haskins. Hold on, I got some. Let me tap on this real quick. Dwayne Haskins was benched.
Right, and then he got knocked out.
He became the third string quarterback. Didn't even dress. Didn't even go to the game. He was at home watching the game. By the way,
pretty sad.
Which sucks.
That's sad.
Alex Smith was the backup. He came in, which to me, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh my God, don't hit this guy."
Yeah, he's so fragile.
Yep. So what do you think, Giants or
Mr. Potato Head, dude?
Giants, Redskins.
I take the points. I think everyone's going to be on the Giants, so I'll take the point. I'll play the +3 if you're going to.
And you're right. 83% of the money's on the Skins already. I'm sorry,
on the
not
Giants.
the Skins, the team, the football team.
You got to remember, sports
It'll
betting.
Move. It's Wednesday. I
sports
get that.
betting. Once sports betting opened up in New York, I mean, as bad as the Giants and the Jets are, people are going to bet them because that's their home team.
Correct.
A lot of people
they have
bet
a lot of money there. They can bet now.
Yeah, exactly. So always be aware of that when it comes to these lines, because the East Coast is moving the lines now. It's not just Vegas and offshore. So once you put that into play, I'll take the Redskins plus a 3. Give me the 3.
So here's my game of the week. Okay, out of all the games that are here, even though that Chiefs Bills game looks enticing as well, my game of the week is the Browns Steelers.
Falling in love.
You have no. That's not what I'm betting. I'm talking about to watch. What I think to watch. I'm not going to bet this game. I'm saying you have the Browns and the Steelers going against each other. You have a team in the Steelers, which a lot of people are calling the best team in the league right now, which I highly, highly disagree. They're not the best team in the league. There's way more better teams than them. Don't let that 4-0 record fool you. Not only that, you have a lot of people that are saying that the Browns are a better team. They're a different team. They're the team to beat now. No, they're not, because if you look at Baker Mayfield's numbers, they're atrocious. He's not really helping them that much on offense, by the way, guys. Look it up. I think he's like the 28th ranked quarterback in the league or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but he's pretty low down there. Their defense has been stepping up. Other players around the offense have been stepping up, because I believe they have the #1 rushing offense in the NFL right now currently. Kareem Hunt, a guy that I cannot stand because of other issues off the field, but he's proven on the field that he can still play. He can still run the ball. Defensively, Myles Garrett, we know what he's going to give you. This game is interesting, Rob. -3 for the Steelers at home against a Browns team, which I believe is also on a 4-game winning streak, if I'm not correct, that they lost their first game and came out hot after that. This line is 3.
I got 3.5. Yeah, 3.5.
I'm not even going to touch this game or even talk about it.
what I'm going to tell you is that I would like to see the Browns win this game, but it's a coin flip.
How good is that division though? You got the Steelers at 4-0. You got the Ravens. I mean, they're still missing a game, obviously, the Steelers. But Ravens 4-1, Browns 4. Browns 4-1. They got the
Ravens
Bengals.
on a bye week, huh? No. They're playing the Eagles. Yeah, you're
No,
right.
they're
4-1.
playing-
Yeah.
Yeah, on paper.
And then
that's-
let's be real.
on
You-
paper,
you-
that's one of the best.
and let's be
divisions
real,
in
you can
football
have a
right now, or
Cincinnati
is
team-
the best division in football.
And let's be real. You have a Cincinnati team that can't have 2 wins right now. They could be 2-3, which even though that's still a bad record,
They should have won against the Chargers. I'll give them that.
and they should have beat the freaking Eagles. Am I right or wrong? Come on.
Yeah, they had. That was that game.
How about Green Bay versus Tampa? We'll talk about that here soon, Primo. We got you. Don't worry. My cousin.
Yeah, we'll
chiming
make
in
it
on-
there. All
my
right,
cousin
so
chiming in on Facebook.
So
So real quick,
I'll
what you
take.
got?
I'll take.
We got 10
I'll
minutes.
take franchise versus franchise. I'll take the Steelers.
Steelers it is. Moving on. Ravens, Eagles. We just tapped on that. The Eagles, to me, are on their way out. And what I mean by that is Carson Wentz is on his way out. I don't think he's going to finish the season as the starting quarterback. And if he does, he won't be back next year. They spent too much money on the kid. I think they were too excited when he started off hot. Nick Foles was the guy. You should have kept him. He would have been a lot cheaper. You could have moved on. But it is what it is. 84% of the money currently right now on a Wednesday on the Ravens. 4-1 on the road, 7.5. Give me the Ravens.
Give me it's -9 now.
Okay.
So I'm up to 9. So you got to
Give me the Ravens. If you still like the Ravens at 9, I'll take them.
Yeah, the Eagles did better than expected against the Steelers. They still lost, but they did better than expected. So yeah, give me the Ravens. I'll take the Ravens. -9.
All right. So for the next game, I got to get up and do this just for Rob.
T.Y. Hilton.
So you guys know T.Y. Hilton from the Indianapolis Colts. When he celebrates, likes to put his T and his Y up for his name. I tell that to Rob because he had him on the fantasy team a few years ago. So
I've almost had him like
he would
5 years in a row.
T.
I was doing it all the time. Yeah, I don't have him this year, so I don't get to do it. But yeah.
Bengals, Colts, man. The Bengals are at home. Bengals are on the road. 1-3-1. Colts are 3-2. You had them last week against the Browns in our personal little competition. You said Oppo. I had the Browns, which was our pick here as well. That was a good game, though. The Colts still have a great defense. Phillip Rivers is doing just enough, but he needs to do a little more.
I'm
I
surprised.
still think this line is too high. I think the Colts win, but I like the Bengals covering.
I think. The Colts defense last week kind of disappointed me. I bet on them too as my in game, thinking that they were gonna at least come close to winning that game, but they blew it. I think the Bengals are finally coming down to earth, and a lot of people were riding them the first 2 or 3 weeks, actually thinking that, not to say that they're contenders, but that they can actually keep up with some of these other teams that they weren't expected to keep up with. I think the Colts defense is going to be a little bit upset with the way the Browns game went last week, and 8.5. I mean, might as well be 10. So with that being said, I'll take the Colts -9.5.
Got it. We got 5 games left. Here we go. Let's
we go.
run them down. Final 5.
Jets
Packers.
Chargers. Wait,
No, no,
Jets
no. Well,
Chargers got delayed. That come on.
I didn't see that.
It's on here.
We don't,
Anyways,
we don't
we'll
talk
go.
about the Jets anyways. Don't matter. They're gonna lose every game of the season.
Packers Bucks.
Packers 4-0 on the road.
Packers open up -2.5. Total 51.5.
We're at -1.
And I have pick. Ooh.
I have -1. I have pick. I have pick at other
-1 who?
places.
I should start saying
William and
minus.
Hill. William and Hill has -1.
-1 who?
William and Hill Packers.
Packers. Okay.
So here's-
55.
55. I got total 55. Yeah.
-1 Packers. Flip.
91% of the money currently here on a Wednesday on the Packers. Still early, like we said.
Fading the way that they looked against the Bears.
You know what? Just because of how bad their defense looks and how hot Tom Brady can get with adjustments in the second half, I take Tampa in this game.
At home, I'll take.
Yeah,
I'll
take Tampa.
I'll take Tampa plus the 1.
Cool. Moving
That
on.
means take Packers.
Moving on.
Anyone listening, take the Packers.
Tell your friends.
Right.
Rams, Niners. Rob, LA team. We're both from LA, but that's not our team. Against your team, the 49ers. A lot of injuries there, man. Obviously not the season you guys wanted. Jimmy G is back though, but he got benched. He got benched last week.
I don't know.
Your millions and millions of dollar man got benched.
Stop. I don't think it was more of a benching. I think it was more of just hey, we realized we brought this guy back a little too early.
So here's the thing.
I didn't even know he was going to start the game. Like I worked on Sunday, so I didn't even know he was going to start that game. So once I found out he was starting, I definitely didn't feel as much confidence as I did as Mullen. I thought Mullen was going to start, or Bethard, or whoever maybe was going to start. But once they started him too early. They realized it. We're going to lose this game. Let's get him out. So I think a little bit of an overreaction from everyone saying that he got benched. Yeah, he did get benched technically because he did start the game, but I think they realized that they brought him back early.
Do they win this game?
Yes.
I agree with you. As crazy as it sounds, Quan, I know you're listening. Niners win this game. Take them on the money line.
I take the +3.5. I always take the points. Going on my tombstone.
So we got 3 more games here. This one doesn't really matter too much. You got the Broncos at 1-3. They're still trying to figure out who their quarterback is with all those injuries and everything they got going on there. Melvin Gordon just got arrested for a DUI. I'm not sure if you guys heard about that.
I
Driving
didn't
under
hear
the
that either.
influence. Yeah. Don't know the full details, but I did hear it
For
on
the
the
second
radio.
time?
I don't know if it's the second time, but I know he got one. This line is -10. Can't possibly coming back. You know what? I like the Patriot way. Call me crazy. I think the Patriots cover this. You
Yeah,
can't be afraid of the high lines, right? Sometimes you cannot be afraid of those lines.
Belichick's going to want it. Honestly, the Patriots need a big win. They need a big win, not only to win, but they need to demolish to show that they're actually still.
Now you caught my.
They're-
Sorry,
You just cut off my analogy. So yeah, real quick, I think Patriots need a big win. They need a win and a big win. I think they cover this. Belichick make sure that he's going to put some of his own money on it and lay the 9.5.
and I call it James White will have a big game. Here we go. 2 more games. Cardinals versus Cowboys. Now this is an interesting one.
Wait, what about the Jets and the Dolphins?
I don't want to talk about that game. Doesn't matter. Dolphins are going to win. Period.
Wow.
I'm serious. I
Neg
don't want
9.5.
Take the 9. Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to go nuts. The Jets just released Le'Veon Bell. They don't know what they're doing. Sam Darnold's on his way out too. I'm sorry, kid. You should have never went to New York. You should have stayed. I think you had an opportunity to stay with USC one more year. You decided not to. You jumped out early. Bad decision, my man. Anyways, Cardinals, Cowboys. Cardinals 3-2, -1.5. Some places have it at 2 on the road against Dallas with the new starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, as some people call it, Andy Dalton. I think with a full week of practice under his belt as the number 1 guy with Mike McCarthy, getting some of these routes in, he played a good amount in that game towards the end. Give me the Cowboys.
How about a little bit of insight from Jimbo Fisher, who joined us a few weeks back?
Let's go.
Line open up -3 on the -3. I gotta start saying -3 on the Cowboys. Dak gets hurt. Reopens up. Cardinals -3. Right? Is Dak really worth 6 points? You think Dak Prescott is? What do you think, James?
Remember, home team
he
is
worth
always
6
3.
points?
Home team is always gets 3.
Right, and not say always. Don't say always, but I get it. In this situation, I would say yes because it is Cowboy Stadium. You know, the whole Jerry's world.
James
I
got
get.
chime.
Is Dak worth 6 points? Yes or no? That's all I want to know.
Maybe not in this game.
But
yes.
no, but in general, is Dak worth 6 points? Because that it made this line
Yeah,
move. The fact that he's out.
Dak can put together a good drive. At the
Cowboys
end.
open up -3 and they flip to +3. So they open. You know, we knew it was going to flip at least to a pick 'em, but for them to open up -3, it's dropped. So people laid money on the Red Rifle, took them. Now it's Cardinals down to -1.5. Monday night. Honestly, I'd take the Cardinals. I think people are going to line up to take the Cowboys, especially the way that the Giants game ended, thinking that there's hope here. I think that the season, I didn't even get to chime in when you were talking earlier about Dak. And well, I did a little bit, but not about how you think that, the Red Rifle can possibly take them to, the NFC Championship.
So
or
here's
wherever
the
you
thing.
said.
That's the Monday night game. The
Yeah, it is.
Bills Chiefs has actually been switched. It was supposed to be a Sunday, I believe, a Monday night game.
No,
I'm
they're
looking
both
at
on
it.
Monday night. They're both on Monday night. The Chiefs.
I'm sorry, you're
Chiefs
right.
Bills game is
They
at 2
switched them
o'clock.
up. That's what it is.
How about that?
So we're gonna move to that one. So in other words, who you got? Cowboys, Cardinals. We're running
I'll
out of
take
time.
the Cardinals.
James, I know you got the Cowboys, so we'll leave it at that.
And I will add that it just hurts every time I have to say something that's not so great about my team.
I
But
got you.
it's a religion. It's not like it's nothing rational about it.
Chiefs, Bills.
Monday night.
The
It's not
Chiefs-
even Monday night. It's Monday afternoon football.
Monday afternoon football. If you're off, enjoy it. 89% of the money going on the Chiefs here on a Wednesday night so far. 3.5 at most places. I'm not sure if you see anything else, Rob, but
I see
Chiefs got their
3.5.
first loss to the Raiders. Big ups to the Raiders. Got a bye week this week. Great win last week. I know we didn't talk much Raiders personally, but we did talk it with Mark. Great win there. I'm glad what they. I'm so happy about what they did. I'm hyped up. I'm not a Raider fan, but I'm happy for them because we're here in Vegas and we're covering them. Bills just got demolished, in my opinion, by the Titans. Titans showed up and showed them how to play out. Bills were trying to go 5-0 for the first time since '92, I believe it was, or something like that. They're at home getting 3.5 points against Kansas City.
Yeah. We saw what. Well, yeah.
We saw what the Raiders' offense did to Kansas City's defense. Kansas City's defense, we saw what the Chargers' offense did to them with the rookie quarterback. Is there cause for concern there? And does Buffalo cover this? In my opinion, I think Buffalo bounces back, covers this, and wins the game.
I think what the Raiders did. I didn't chime in earlier when you were talking to Mark, but I think honestly, we talked a little bit about the Raiders' defense, but I think what the Raiders did offensively is kind of what put that game. What kind of put Chiefs where they were, in that position that they were in that game. So, with that being said, I think the Bills have enough offense to kind of put the Chiefs at ease like the Raiders did this week, and I would take the 3.5. It almost seems too easy to take the 3.5, but I don't think they're begging you to take the Chiefs after what happened last week. So
They're not begging you.
I'm gonna go against normally with what I would normally say. So in this situation, I'd take the Chiefs plus the 3.5. I mean, sorry, Bills plus 3.5.
Cool. So we're done. The
We got to
picks
put our
are done.
bets. We got to put our bets.
No. But that part, everything else is done.
Yeah, we went through
We're
it.
at 1 hour exactly. We're gonna jump in for our 1 minute. I know James is cool. He ain't gonna
OT.
tip on it. The overtime.
Overtime.
Sudden death overtime. Here we go. Rob, are you ready?
You go first.
No. I was on a losing streak and I won last week. So how about you go first? What you got? You picked college last week. I stuck to NFL.
Went to college, took Texas A&M
What's your pick of
plus
the
the
week?
6.5. And
What's your pick of the week? Come on.
Oh man.
Come on.
All right, I'll stick with NFL. I will. We talked about it earlier. I will. Now's the time. You've been betting the Falcons for 5 weeks straight and you haven't won. Now's the time to take the Falcons. I'll take the Falcons plus
Woo!
the 4.
Let me write that
Let's go.
down.
Let's go. Now's the time.
Falcons plus 4. James is gonna love me for this one. Give me the Cowboys plus the 2. Give me the Cowboys plus the 2. I think Andy Dalton comes out, balls out, takes that job respectfully for the time being till Dak gets back and gets healthy. Fun show, man. We are done. We are out of time. We're at the end. Mark Anderson, Las Vegas Review Journal. Thank you so much for joining us. That was fun. We're going to have him on again soon.
Yes, sir.
Talking Las Vegas Raiders. Rob G in the studio, breaking down all the NFL action bit by bit, giving you guys stuff that you're not going to hear anywhere else because it's just a regular conversation, talking with the boys.
Yeah, no stats.
No stats. Just personal between us,
Let
letting you know what you're going to hear at the sports book. But we're not that casual better. Rob does some studying here. Big Game Jay Mays behind the big board, as always, producing the show, doing what he does, keeping us going. We greatly appreciate you, brother, man. Joel B cannot be here tonight. We gave him the night off because we didn't have an in-guest studio.
Back to back.
Studio guest, I'm sorry. Fun, man. We got our picks out there. I'm 2-3. Rob's 3-2. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and close this out tonight. Sometimes things aren't what they seem, people. So don't judge a book by its cover. Always remember that. I know it's a cliche. I know you've heard it before, but I got to say it. And the reason I say it is because something happened to me this week that I could not believe, and some words came out of somebody's mouth that I never thought I would hear. So never, ever judge a book by its cover. Till then, I am Jose V. This has been another episode of Straight Bet Sports. For Rob G, for James Mays, Gorilla Cross Radio, we are out.
See ya.